3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
All right, 5 o'clock on a Monday. Let's do this. Let's hit the books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips. I am merely Brad Powers. Before we recap last weekend's best bets, which we did have a winning week. No thanks to a team up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. We'll talk about that and a hell of a lot more before we get to your comments, concerns, questions. Let me remind everybody that Hit the Books does have a new sponsor this year. You might have heard of them. It's a little old sports book by the name of FanDuel, and you can make every moment more this college football season with a win on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Love FanDuel as far as market entry because they're the first to post FBS, FCS, win totals, derivative markets. Been betting at FanDuel more than ever before, even though they're still not here in the great state of Nevada. We made some phone calls, to say the least, every single week, almost every single day. And right now, all customers can get a profit boost every single college football game day. That means you can pump up your gridiron winnings multiple times a week. And you can use your bets on spreads, live bets, totals, so much more. And we will be having another profit boost PBT, profit boost token offer this week in one of the bigger games. We'll mention that more on Friday. And you can visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/hitthebooks. Disclaimer, must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in DC. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg/help.com. Knish, what's happening, man? I got to say, your Detroit Lions, I love them Lions.
Oh, baby. No hutch, no problem. Just keep it rolling in there. Jared Goff, they're chanting his name everywhere in the city. MVP. Yeah, that was a big time. You don't want to lose that game on a fluke fumble 6 there. So that would have hurt. But nice way to come to back and get it in there. So yeah, I liked that result. Hey, and nice. We were a couple of smidges away from a big week. Oh, thanks to those up in Mount Pleasant and taking a little bit of a bad number there on Kent State. But hey, we'll take a winning week and back on the grind.
Yeah, 6-4 the week as far as the best bets went. Boy, Carson Beck, I thought the start of the game was going to be an easy winner. Passing yards didn't get there. They didn't need the passing yards after they jumped out, but the attempts were there, to say the least. I almost went over his attempts in the first half. Yeah. But Kentucky was terrible, to say the least. Michigan State wins outright. That was nice. Didn't have to sweat that one at all. Milroe over. Buffalo, Western Michigan.
That should have been apparently our play of the decade, play of the century. Yeah. Goes over the total, almost goes over the total by themselves. That was over by, I think, the early third quarter.
Yeah, Rice Tulane was a very interesting data point. Rice moved the football, very misleading game. Turnovers bad for them. Toledo won outright, obviously part of part of your parlay. Wisconsin easy winner, and Oklahoma State on Friday night. So not too bad. I'll take that if we're going to do that on a weekly basis. Obviously #1 story coming out of last weekend, Georgia. I mean, what they did to Texas in that first half. I mean, that's what the #1 team in the country looks like. We haven't seen it for a full 60 minutes from them, but we've seen it obviously second half Clemson, first half Texas, after trailing 28-0 to Alabama. If they want to play like that, that's the best team in the country. That's your national champ. Problem is, they don't play like that all the time. And I still got a quarterback that I don't trust in Carson Beck, who still, they go in and win on the road against Texas. And he still is off. His wide receivers are off dropping passes. He's putting the ball in harm's way when he doesn't need to. So they're the best team in my opinion, but the trust factor isn't there. And then the other big game I'll mention, obviously Michigan, Illinois. No, I'm kidding. Alabama, Tennessee. I tweeted this. It was not a great watch.
No, it was not.
25 plus penalties, 7 turnovers, missed field goals, undisciplined. It's obvious this is the worst Alabama team since Saban's first season in 2007. Yeah. I'm not, good win for Tennessee. I know they're excited. It's only their second win over Alabama in the last 17 years, but I'm not automatically raising their power rating way up after that. That was just, I don't trust. Let me put it this way. I don't trust either one winning multiple games in a playoff format.
No, for sure. I mean, as you said, I think Georgia's defense may be one of the more impressive against the Texas O-line that I had proclaimed as best in the country, and multiple, early round draft picks on that line, and they beat them up pretty good. Whether it was Quinn or Arch in there, not much time to get anything going, and yeah, one of the performances of the season there, I think, to slow down that Texas offense. As you said, Beck still wasn't. I mean, they've lost, for some receivers throughout the course of the year. So I don't know what the ceiling is on that offense anymore. And he hasn't. It's been multiple weeks now where he hasn't exactly. The volume might be there, but the quality of play hasn't exactly been there. And so we'll see. I mean, this could be. For a year of the 12-team playoff, this could be pretty wide open. And of the teams that get in there and go on a run. And a team that, by some of the models, I saw Connolly tweet, the Indiana Hoosier, the juggernaut in Hoosier Nation. Unfortunately, I think Rourke broke his thumb. And that
I think so too.
Yeah, they're saying like, oh, it was just his nail came on. No, I mean, you don't rule a guy out indefinitely for that long. Now, don't get me wrong, Tavion Jackson came in there and kept the party rolling, but he's not.
I think they're in trouble this week.
I would feel similarly based on some early bets. And I mean, I'll just touch on it. The Heisman title ticket's officially in the garbage.
Oh my God!
Off
a bye that was disgraceful. Like fireable offenses.
I was going to say it's shaking the core of not just like if it was just Jack Tuttle who is obviously not healthy, his arm didn't have any juice. Then you could, but it's deeper than that, right? Like it's like is Sharon Moore, is Kirk Campbell, what is the program going forward? And I'll be honest,
is it? I mean, obviously it looks like you're going to buy some recruits, but
that's not.
You have a national championship defensive line still.
Yeah,
and it's totally wasted.
And you're losing. The defensive performance. I mean, you can give Wink Martindale some hassle, but the defensive performance. I mean, this team, if you had below average offense, is sitting at probably with one loss
6-1.
Yeah, 6-1 with a below average offense. If you didn't have the worst offense in the country, the worst passing offense in the country, you'd be sitting there 6-1, probably on a 9-3, usual pace type. Now you're like, are we going to go bowling? Because our offense.
I don't know. You obviously Sparty's live this week.
They're live, very live.
You got Indiana, you got Oregon, you got Ohio State.
Yeah.
That last I checked, 1, 2, 3, 4. You already have 1, 2, 3 losses. 7. That's no bueno, no bowl.
Rich. Yeah, I know. I mean, we're in bizarro twilight world here, where the Indiana, I've seen for 30 years was like, this is. I'm telling you, this is the new era that we are in right now, where when you're gonna have these like Florida State, Michigan, two top 4 teams. Yeah, Oklahoma, where like we're gonna be in this new era of like fall off and rise up in these 1 year spans that
So what do we do? What's the actual info? My guess is I'm not going to be as involved on win totals next year. I'll add it up and see how I do this year, but I don't know. With so much variance, I mean, I don't know if I want that much money tied up before the start of the season. What say you there?
I think there's some, opportunity wise, you would say, and not, I know again, these aren't, but to play some like alt expectation, like,
That's a good point.
What was the price on Michigan, under 6.5 wins? What was the price on, Florida State under 3.5 wins? I mean, but some of those won't even have, but like there was some wild, variances or Indiana over 10 wins, that type of stuff in terms of like when a team has like seismic change, maybe just playing, the base, the farthest possible outcomes on those things. So that's what I can think for them. But yeah, it's definitely a new day because you're even seeing, and even the market last week was very bullish on Florida State, feeling like very bullish on Michigan, thinking you had just hit the bottom. And what happens? Those teams, those teams both not only get steamed, but both lose outright. So yeah, it's a new day in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'll tell you that. I mean, I don't know if I have a great handle on it yet, but need more data, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I'm anxious for this playoff to see how it works. Coming up, I still think if Georgia and Ohio State play up to their abilities, those are the two best teams, just like we thought at the start of the season. But boy, to see Michigan, SC, Oklahoma, Florida State fighting for their lives to get to bowl eligibility, that's something. Yeah, we knew a lot of the, Michigan, Florida State would be taking a step back. I didn't think you obviously thought they'd take this big of a step back. I don't know what the answer is up there in Ann Arbor. I don't think next year looks even better.
It looks worse. They're losing. I mean, they've got like, it's 4 or 5 guys that are going to go in the first 2 rounds playing on this team. That's going to struggle for bowl eligibility. And those guys are all gone.
And you're not, unless there's a seismic change in philosophy, you're not going to go out and get 30 transfers this offseason, right?
I tell you what.
You need them.
I was going to say, either if I'm Sharon Moore and Portnoy or Stephen Ross or anybody's calling me, I'm saying, I'm taking the calls. I'll do whatever you want, whatever podcast you want to do, because the leash is going to be real short after this season. I'll tell you that. You can't have this, and then with the roster you're looking at next year.
Is he going to be 2 and done? Oof.
I tell you what, if they don't.
I think so. If I had to bet it, I would bet that.
I agree with you because, I don't think they'll make the moves this offseason that they need to make to really rescue it.
And some of it, you got to help it. You're hiring a young, inexperienced guy. You got to help him out. I mean, Wink Martindale, who doesn't have hardly any college experience, an inexperienced offensive coordinator. They did not help out Sharon Moore at all. You got to help the young guy out. Jesus, you got to know who you're hiring. Okay, we're hiring this young guy inexperienced. Let's help him out. Jesus.
If you want, listen, all the good coaches from the staff are in Los Angeles. Jim Harbaugh robbed the cupboard on the way out. And
I think there was. It'll come out eventually, but he was not overly pleased with what happened to him in 2020, taking the pay cut.
No, and he
really bad leadership at the top of Michigan, the university, and whatnot.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's going to cost them dearly.
Yeah,
because it's just going to cost him dearly. I think he would have stayed. I know he had 1 foot kind of out the door, but why did he have 1 foot out the door? Because of what happened in 2020. I think is why. You take care of one of your own. All right, enough Michigan talk. We'll talk more. I could talk Michigan. I'm not a Michigan fan, but I can talk blue blood all day. Let's get to the true stars of the show. That being you, the viewers, the listeners, and obviously there's a bunch of games out, and a bunch of games in midweek. So let's get to them. Alex in the chat. We'll start with him. FanDuel has game of the year. Lines posted. LSU plus 4.5. Bama. Wrong team favored.
All right, we gotta discuss some LSU here because of that question, and I'm not buying. I'm not in on like the. I'll tell you what. Where are you at on the game this week? Because I
took him this week, but it was at a different price.
Take
a look at that A&M injury report. We got to look at that defensive line. I just watched the Mississippi State A&M game this morning. Yeah. There's like 3 guys went out. I don't know if it's serious, but they weren't in there at the end of the game. It's not like they were up 4 touchdowns. all their main guys up front. So we got to look at that. Yeah, I'm not totally buying LSU, but Zach, pull up the game of the year lines if you want to. If you can pull that up, best bet LSU plus 4.5.
That's better.
I concur with that one. That should be pick. So LSU, there we go. You better get in there, Knish.
I was gonna say, yeah.
We're getting. I want to win. We're ending this season at 500, and I'm talking. When I mean 500, I mean we got to overcome like a 20-game deficit that we started the season with because of last year's dumpster fire. But that is in. Anything above 3 easily. Yeah, that should be pick 'em.
There it goes.
There it goes. Did we get in, Zach, or no?
Yeah, we're good.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Love it. All right. Love it. I'm glad we got in on that. I did not know that. That was just bad. I won't do that too often, but that was a bad number. We'll take a victory there because we got some. We actually, we had Oklahoma a couple weeks ago that wasn't good as far as the game of the year lines.
Yeah, I was going to say that the game of year, some of the early game of years haven't been kind to us, but
no, but that's just 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
I think we'll be fine. Eat that plus LSU plus 3.5, Nevada minus 2.5, Navy plus 12.5. It's all number dependent on that. If you want to tell me you like A&M minus 2.5, I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, I took above 3, so that one I think it should be 3. If you want to lay it, do you like A&M minus 2.5?
Yeah, I'm in on some A&M under 3 at a couple.
Do you want to best bet it?
Give it to me, baby. Zach.
All right, best bet this week, A&M minus 2.5. The line should be 3. We're on a key number. So there you go. Nevada minus 2.5. Man, it's tough laying points on the road, Hawaii, but I think they're the right side. Did you do anything with that game?
Man,
that's about where I made it.
I had a great feel on the Hawaii games this year, or kind of how they're going to perform. I would lean that way, but as you said, Hawaii's usually a better fade off the island. Short price there. I probably a game that I'm not getting too involved in, regardless.
Unless I'm chasing on midnight. I'm joking. I'm joking. Old school days. Navy plus 12.5.
Are we're this might be head-to-head territory because I saw the BP and I almost spit up my drink.
A lot of people like Navy. I don't. Notre Dame rolls them.
No, what? You're gonna have to.
Who has Navy played? Tell me.
No. I mean, they haven't played any. They're beating teams by 60 every week, though.
Look at last week. They got outgained. They're plus 5 in turnovers.
We're talking a Notre Dame offense that's had trouble getting margin is going to Navy for a service academy and winning by 2 touchdowns.
Trouble getting margin. They beat Purdue by 59. Miami, Ohio by 25. That's Miami's worst loss. They got margin last week, 18, 42 over Stanford.
It was dicey last week.
Dicey, but still 31-7 before a garbage touchdown. 24-7. I'll give you the pick.
I think this line's only going one way.
That's what I've heard. It's only going one way, but it's getting set up today because it was 11.5, now it's 12.5, 13. I'm told it's going to go way down. Well, I'm just telling you, the tout service is going to have Notre Dame at some point this week.
Oh boy!
So
we're gonna this be a head-to-head.
It'll be a head-to-head. Let's get the. I'm gonna wait till Friday show. I'm gonna get the right price for me. So.
I'll give you a solid there after Fresno 2.5.
All right, but you want to go right now? We'll go head-to-head right now. 12.5.
You're already in at 12.5.
Yeah. We'll
lock it in, Zach.
All right, head-to-head. When the problem for the service academies is when they're really good and they catch Notre Dame's attention and they're like unbeaten, go look at the results. I mean, I go back to Air Force in 2002 college game day there. Notre Dame was like an underdog, easily won the game. I know they won by 7, but you look at the stats. I mean, I can go back that far. I mean, Malcolm Perry at quarterback at Navy. Notre Dame's favored by a touchdown. Was his 2019 Notre Dame wins by 32. Keenan Reynolds at quarterback. It's 11-win Navy team. Notre Dame wins that one by 17. I mean, when they are really good, Notre Dame's focused on the game. So I just letting you know.
Yeah.
So
Now, Cam points out in the chat, this is at MetLife, not at Navy, but at MetLife. I mean, we'll see what the crowd is there at MetLife. Could be maybe a little early weather in that one too. So, we'll see.
We'll see. Charles Saul in the chat, Joey Knish 30 for 30, tell-all working title, fire up Chips, the man who went down in a golden flash.
I knew because when they blew when all this was happening, Colorado's destroying Arizona. Toledo's has a handle on that one. And I see it 34. I see a score. I say, oh, no. See 34-30. Then they get the rock and they're driving. I was like, not again. And of course, our favorite play in that was Michigan State. And so I knew, like, by that time of the night, I was like, oh, State's going to win. And then Central's going to cost me. Because, folks, this is not just we bet this stuff. So this is not that. It turned out to be quite an expensive finish for me there. From the Mount Pleasant Ponzi scheme. Unbelievable. Blowout, 16-point lead in 7 minutes or whatever it was.
What is going on?
They didn't even cover. I had them to ATS, dude. They didn't even cover the number. So that was another, like, not only do they blow the round robin, but they don't even cover the number. So fucking Mac, I swear.
Stay away. I bet him this week, though.
Did you? All right.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that one. I tell you what game, the MAC game of the century in Ohio.
BG Toledo?
In Northern Ohio. I saw you took a position already, and it's going to be another head-to-head.
On Toledo BG?
Yeah.
At 3?
Yeah, I'll give it to you at 3.
Give it to me at 3. Isn't that the consensus line right now? What are we looking at?
It's 2.5 at FanDuel. 2.5. You know what? I'll give you the 3.
That's why. Three's fine.
Like I'm taking Toledo.
Three's fine.
Give me the 2. I owe you a half point. Give me the 2.5.
Nah, 3. We'll play it at 3. I bet it at 3.5, so I'll bet it at 3.
All right, split the difference. We'll take it at 3. Bay, I tell you, and this was first of all, Kent State, get a fucking first down. Like, what was that? The offense has been like, what was that second half passing at the game? We needed like a field goal to cover all the numbers easy in the second half. Like, what was that? And that's not a BG. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nobody loves BG more than us on this show, but it's not like this elite MAC defense. I'm like, come on. But I mean, Bays was.
He was cooking.
Yeah, he was healthier than I thought. That was a mystery on my, like, he was, you could tell he wasn't full strength, but he was cooking.
Yeah. It'll be different.
Do you think Gleason's back this week?
I don't know. They still won without him. I know it's misleading. I mean, they went on the road in Northern Illinois and won without him. Come on.
I'm
not a big Tucker Gleason. I mean, that's the mispricing as far as I'm concerned for the game. I don't think he's worth that much, Gleason. I'm not that big of a fan.
I wouldn't say, I agree. I was a great, but also, I mean, that was Northern Illinois playing with their backup quarterback.
Yeah, I hear you.
Thanks.
But didn't they the week before they had the backup in there for a lot of that game against BG and won at BG.
But, well, yeah, I would say the drop-off between BG's backup to starter is a lot more significant than either of those teams.
Look at us go round and round here. All right, we're in on that one. Okay, 3. I yep. I can't believe I got to root for Toledo in this game. I think the old man's going to be there this week. Well, I needed him last week at the game.
I know. What? Right when we had the injury report here.
Eventually, he said that's why I didn't want to go. I'm going to this week's game. So, all right. I said fair enough. Wyatt in the chat, it's officially basketball season in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. I think they'll probably lose. I think they'll, LSU's live in that game. So that's why we just bet it. That'd be third live.
I wouldn't, man. I'm like, I'm not on the whole. Maybe defensively they need to make a change. I'm not on the. If I was a Bama fan, to me, the DeBoer Heat stuff is ridiculous. I'm fine. I'm not.
He'd be out of a job a half a day. I mean, I think he's regretting. He probably shouldn't have left Washington.
I was going to say there's some other places, namely Michigan. After I would say that. I think
you would take him in a minute. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. Just a lot of this stuff was problems that were already there under
I
Saban the last
agree.
couple
I
of
agree.
years.
He inherited some issues, just
Yeah.
so I'm not. I still think DeBoer is a great coach. That the SEC man, that look at the SEC now, just with Texas, with Georgia, the schedule's insane every year.
No. Keep in mind that Saban was fortunate in a lot of games. 4th and 26 last year would have never even made the playoffs.
Yep.
So would have had multiple losses. The previous game at Auburn, all the Bigsby had to do was fall on the ground. The game's over, and they give the ball back to Alabama. Alabama goes down the field, forces overtime, wins it in like 3 or 4 overtimes. So they were fortunate that they weren't a 3-loss team like for his last couple of years. So I will see. Again, you said it. I mean, you take him in Michigan. I think about 95 other schools would take him too. AJ Donaldson Rocco in the chat. Don't want to skip this. It's great to be a Miami Hurricane. Yeah, I mean, looking at the schedule, it looks pretty good now. Looks like 12-0 heading to the ACC championship game.
I mean,
defense is bad. Reminds me of like a Lincoln Riley Oklahoma team, or if you're real old, none of you will get this reference. Like a Bob Toledo UCLA team with Caden McNown at quarterback. So, I mean,
I would be that game in the dome to end it is
that'd be a wild one. Bet the over.
It's gonna be a wild one. That's not a layup because, as you said, this Miami defense sucks. So, and I think
when do we bet against them? That's for just give me the game. It ain't this week, I can tell you that. It's coming up. Either the ACC championship game or I guess the dome, or definitely a playoff game against the Georgia. That would be fun.
Yeah,
and Ohio State. Yeah, that'd be nice. AJ Donaldson, thanks for talking me off Northwestern last week. My Badgers are rolling. Can they give Penn State a run for their money under the lights in Madison? I bet it. I don't know if I'd bet it at 6.5 now, but I certainly bet it. I do think it's a close game. What do you think?
Like Penn State? I was on it this week too. I mean, proof is in the pudding. I got to give, because I've been a little bit of a fickle hater since he's been in Wisconsin for some of the moves, especially losing Van Dyke and having to go to Locke, who struggled some. He still is great for the the occasional stupid interception, but those last few weeks they've really put it together to a point where this is no longer like this was a chalk up L for like the first half for all of last year and the first half of this year. That Wisconsin team, this was a dead nuts L. Now I think they could be live. So I agree with you. I took some. I think there was 7.5 for a bit there. Since
there was.
Yeah.
There was. Let's see where it's at later in the week. Sometimes the bigger money. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I mean, look at that money in the NFL last week prior to kick. Wrong. Yeah, I will get. I don't want to take 6.5 on a Monday right now. But I do think Wisconsin's the right side, and you got to respond to it. It's the second year. Maybe they're just finally getting it rolling under Fickle. I do think he's a good coach. So and remember, he had a very slow year one at Cincinnati, and they started getting things going in year two. So they maybe he's following something similar here. D-Lee 23.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. It's not shocking, though, to be honest with you.
Is it arch season?
Yeah, but I don't think it's true. Do you think it'd be true?
I'm gonna say probably not either.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
But
I mean, I wouldn't be stunned by it. Nothing stuns me anymore. But I don't think that one's true. I don't like the body language on some of his stuff. I would not prepare for the NFL draft for what? I mean, I wouldn't. Would you draft him in the first round if you're the GM?
No.
Exactly. Someone is going to do it, but they'll be out of a job in 2-3 years.
Do you think he's a first round lock?
No, not first round lock. Yeah, I think somebody would probably take him. What's his? I don't know. I haven't looked at draft props. What's his?
I mean, there's only to go first overall right now, so there's nothing. Okay. But yeah,
I'm telling you, I wouldn't draft him. But you know how teams are, man. Who are the other quarterbacks? Carson Beck, I guess. Cam Ward. Who else?
Shador.
4. Well, that's 4, but that's normally what goes.
Honestly, I think that's right. I think at the way the season's playing out,
Shador would be my guy.
Yeah, I think he's going to go first.
First overall?
Shador?
Yeah, I guess. And they're going to take him first overall. Oh, my God.
I mean, listen.
Nothing against the kid.
I mean,
he's playing well. Colorado. We buried the lead there. Colorado's been playing very well.
Oh, yeah.
Another big win for them. We got to give them props. Nobody's giving them props now. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would not draft any quarterback in the top 10 if I was a GM. Would you? Any of these guys?
If Shador didn't come with the baggage that he's going to come with, I think talent-wise, he deserves it.
Number 1 or top 10?
No, top 10. But talent-wise, I think but man, you're going to get the Sanders family.
Yeah, I don't want that. Some might.
They're like the good LeVar, like the good Ball family. My
goodness. Wow. Thank you for that breaking news. Remember the first time that hit, we were doing a show? I thought like the president had been shot or something. I mean, I had no idea what was going on. Like we're getting, nuclear war or whatever. I wasn't scared this time. D-Lee 23, go Dogs. Feels good to be right. Thoughts on Navy Irish? We gave you that head to head. Me and Knish there. He likes Navy. I like the Irish. FanDuel has Clemson, Miami title. Look ahead at pick. Am I wrong to love Clemson? No, I would have Clemson favored. Not significantly that I would want to put a bet on that yet. Are you all right with that?
I mean, maybe it, goes to 1 or 2 kind of one way. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not.
We'll be on that game when it gets to it. I'm guessing is my guess. So nothing to I'm going to put on that yet. Action Sports Central. We crushed the MAC last week. Why aren't we pounding Toledo -3? I agree. I did. Knish says no.
Because the best team in Ohio is in Bowling Green. Action. Well, I mean, listen, you're going to tell me a backup, a 13-6 grinder with 2 backup quarterbacks is now we're crowning Toledo as the bet? No, sir. No, sir. Not my Falcons.
It depends on what BG team shows up. We'll see. Burt Brownie's in the chat. Great Saturday, fellas. Are we playing Kentucky again this weekend? So is that sarcasm? Yeah, Kentucky was horrific. We weren't the only ones. I mean, I don't know.
They closed. I mean, it was
close 2.5 point favorites. We gave them a 2.5 point dog. I know people make fun of us for that, but you know what? Give me 5 points in every game if you don't like that, and see how it works out for you.
That honestly, that was one of the surprising results of the weekend. That was probably one of the favorite plays we had, and just talk about 2 teams that are the Auburn and Kentucky. This one, man, do you have a play on that game?
I wish I had a bet Auburn at 3.5, but I don't have big regrets because the Auburn, we were on live. I said they're going. I was not confident they were going to win this game, and obviously, I don't know what they injected Brady Cook in. They needed to get off the pine.
Yeah, get off the hospital. But they saw 2 drives of Drew Pine and gave him whatever he wanted at the hospital to get him back in.
Yeah. I can't. Neither one I want to bet, really. I would have taken, just numbers-wise, I missed it on Auburn, but I'm not going to have a bet there. Bert also asked about the Tuesday, Wednesday Conference USA games. I like one, other than how bad they are, obviously. Do you like anything on those games, Tuesday, Wednesday?
So I think, based on little chat buzz from the Knish Moles, that we're going to be getting backup QBs and potential third-string QBs in that Sam Houston FIU game.
Yep.
So
I'm watching the tape last week. Yeah, both backups will probably start, and maybe a third stringer at FIU, right?
Yeah. So did you do? I mean, I don't really have enough on those guys.
Got enough. I like Bow. Man, I don't want to release too much. I think Sam Houston's in better shape from the backup.
I kind of lean that, even though
Bauer, I think, is a more capable backup than what FIU will have. So that seems a little cheap. I'm not there. I want to see how this gets priced. I think the total would be in the low 50s if it wasn't for the quarterback situation. So I think people are already on that.
That's another where I was like, yeah, under, but I was like, man, I feel like that's really baked in at 47.
Step on a Duck says some people saying Jenkins playing for FIU. He's the backup, right?
I think he's the main, but I don't think
I don't know. They went to another guy. I don't know. They did play 3 different guys last week. All right. I didn't watch it close enough. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like they got Jenkins, but I don't know. The game I like, you're not gonna like this. I like Kennesaw on Wednesday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I hate this Liberty team.
Oh boy.
All right, so we won't go there.
I mean, I'm not begging to lay 24 with Liberty. I agree with you, but there was some stat over the weekend. I think there are like 2 teams with less than 1,000 passing yards and 10 turnovers were Michigan and Kennesaw State or something like that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that
Liberty has not beaten anybody, but they played by far the worst schedule in the country, and they haven't beaten anybody by 24.
No, that's fair, but
all right. So we're passing on those. What about Thursday night? You got anything? Pitt, Syracuse, Georgia Southern, ODU?
Ooh, that Pitt number starts.
I think if you want Syracuse, going to go a little higher. I don't know if it hits 7.
Okay,
but
that would be. I was going to say that would be the bribe price for me. Would be a 7 on Cuse.
Okay.
If you wanted Pitt, you missed the window there. I did not have anything on the other game.
I bet ODU, but
I was going to say lean ODU.
Yeah, both off. This is in the weeds. I was both off stunning upsets last week. I did not have either one of them winning their games last week. Safe to say, hurt the win totals.
Yeah. Let's go to the Friday night marquee.
All right, Boise UNLV.
Boise UNLV.
I like Boise, but
give me the head. Give me the Rebs.
All right, I'll lay it. You really like them? No.
Give me the running Rebs.
That price, best bet, Boise for me. I'm just letting you know.
I mean,
all right. So we'll go head to head at 3.
Yeah.
There we go, head to head there. I like that. They don't have it defensively. UNLV. Who's better, Boise or Syracuse? Who's better?
I mean, listen. This is a UNL defense that has played. Again, we're in particular. Last couple of weeks have been, but it's Haj Malik Williams time, baby.
I got you. He'll be running for his life. Number 1 sack team in the country is Boise State. Their defense ain't great, but they're number 1 in the country in sacks. They're going to eat him alive. It'll be similar to last year's Mountain West Championship game where Boise was laying 2 or 3 and killed them. And I know UNLV was favored over Syracuse, but Syracuse, I mean, had a couple punt blocks. They should have won that game in regulation. Should have went to overtime, and Boise's way better. That'll be an easy win for me. Thankfully, I need it. Because I'm not sure about the Toledo BG game and the Notre Dame Navy. Notre Dame is the bane of my existence. So at least I got one in the chamber on you there. RW Fan 23. I want Joey K on the Mount Pleasant CMU documentary fired up and on the take.
Yeah.
I mean, we laugh about it, but it goes all the way back to the FIU game, doesn't it? That was a weird line move that week.
Yeah.
And then the 6 freaking turnovers. Like, it's just, and then ever since then, every game, weird line movement, every game falling at right at the number or in between. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's becoming statistically improbable. I can tell you that. You cannot. We'll see this week. I did bet him this week. David in the chat. So do we just auto bet Indiana, Army, and Navy and call it a day?
Yeah. Where are you at on Indiana now after
I bet. Well, I mean, I'll just tell you, I bet Washington. I bet Notre Dame. I bet East Carolina. East Carolina covered some numbers last week.
Yeah, I will say they did no quit there. I'm not with you on the ECU this week.
I'm not on ECU. I bet ECU against Army.
Okay. I was gonna say
I like Temple. We want to give out Temple plus 7.
Yeah. That's I was just gonna say I didn't know if that was gonna stick around. I'm a little
Temple plus 7, best bet.
yeah.
Like it. Boom. Well, chop, Zach. That's the bad number. It's pretty much a consensus 7. There we go. Temple. Love it. And they went outright.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Indiana. You want to see where that line moves later in the week? I like Washington.
I mean, I liked it when it was, I need above 7 on that one.
All right, fair enough.
Are you not you're not a TVN? I mean,
it looked good, but how many times backup looks fine? Then
I would agree with you.
Has experience.
And Nebraska was
it's
pretty
tough getting in front of Signetti. This guy is like literally cocky in a good way. But when you back it up, it's fine. All right. Yeah, we'll look at that one on Friday, Indiana, Washington. But yep, there you go. Best bet. Another one. Charles, John Stuff, UNLV plus 3. You're with Knish on that one. Charles Saul, any opinion on the battle in the Little Apple Saturday? Also, any stock up, stock down coaches moving forward at this point in the season? Stock down, Norvell, Leopold, plenty of others. I'm not stocked down on Leopold. They're fighting. I think they're underrated. I bet Kansas this week.
You want to go? What's the price there?
Yeah, I like Kansas. What's our price here? FanDuel, Kansas State, Zach. Before they're probably watching live and they're going to change it and get it shaded. Yeah,
it is shaded. 10. 10's pretty widely. Are you in?
Want to best bet that one?
Yeah.
There you go. Kansas plus 10 best bet. I think they're live.
Me too. I agree with you. Yeah, that was a hell of a performance versus a Houston team that I know we had been kind of arrow pointing up, but that was I'm just on the macro question. Yeah, I'm not out on Leopold at all. Or Norvell. I still think Michael Norvell. It's just, this is what we just talked about at the start of the show. They had a roster disaster. They tried to solve it with DJU. He wasn't the guy. The other look at the other quarterbacks on the roster. They're unplayable. So
Norvell's going to have to fight. This is probably going to be good for the long run for Norvell. Going to have to fire half his assistant coaches. He's got a couple of guys that have been weaknesses that just haven't been exposed yet. And another thing he's got to do now, total change of philosophy. Better start recruiting high school kids, Norvell, because you can't rely on the transfer portal every year or you're going to have these wild swings. You need to develop some culture. So,
I agree with that.
This is a big offseason for Mike Norvell, to say the least. I'm anxious to see what happens. But yeah, best bet Kansas. I think they're live. Eli, I know they always struggle against Kansas State, but this ain't the same old Kansas.
No,
Eli,
and
just because they're 2-5, they lost some close games, folks. Changed 2 plays in their season, and this line is 6 or 7. Come on.
Yeah. No. And Avery Johnson has not been from the moles.
They've had some fluky.
Either. He did pass the ball very well last week which is for a rarity, but he's
Kansas. That should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Can we fade Rutgers again at USC minus 14? I can't lay 14.
Not that price. No
way.
No.
Hell, it's 14.5. Let's see how high it goes. I might.
I know.
As bad as Rutgers is, I might be betting Rutgers. You want to lay it with this USC team? No way.
No, I think we're back to the Rutgers in the role where you want to back them as an ugly big dog.
Richard in the chat, who do you like? A favorite at 5.5, for example? Will you not bet it at 6? It would not be a loss if it lands on 6. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Well, it's always why do you like a favorite at 5.5, for example? Okay, I read it wrong. I'm I can be dumb sometimes. Low IQ here. Will you not bet it? I don't know. It's just number dependent. If that's the best number available at the time and I think it's bettable, I just bet it. Right? I don't think about that. Am I missing something? What am I missing?
I don't know. I didn't really. I'm not 100% sure.
6 is not key, but it's still false 6. 6 is more key than 5. So maybe if you explain that further, I'm sorry. I'm just not grasping that. And it can be my fault. I'm a dumbass a lot. Guy asks, I like Colorado this week, up a few points to 4.5. What do you think? I did bet him this week. I wouldn't lay 4.5 now.
Yeah,
but,
I
did
think
bet
it's
'em.
gotten out of range. I agree. I think Colorado, again, playing really well, like where they're heading. But can't really bet it now.
You see their schedule? I got them favored in every game. Not
I mean,
big, but
yeah,
all by
not
less
going
than
to
a
be a lot of
touchdown.
close
But
ones, but
yeah, I mean, on paper, I mean, this could be. Doesn't 10 have like 40-1 for them to win the Big 12?
something around there.
I think he does. Good job, 10. See, there you go. Being
Yeah.
nice. Brendan in the chat, any early week action? We went over those games. Not much there. Got some head to head. Trip. I like Kennesaw. If you need one, that's for me. That's me. Not Joey K approved there. That's just me. Can you guys touch on the yes/no college football playoff odds? Seeing big price discrepancies in the market. Indiana, yes, -120, and yes, +200 in the market, for instance.
I think it depends how much hold the book's taking. Some of those places just really jack up the hold, and especially if they're not offering a yes/no. Then some of the holds, FanDuel is usually pretty good with making it, the number, the hold percentage down on some of those markets. So, but I mean, with the Indiana
what are
question,
the limits on some of these? Because they were, when I checked them a little while back, they were pretty bad. They were low, meaning.
yeah. I just, on the Indiana one perspective, like Rourke, I don't know. I mean,
that has to be the wild mispricing on them, the quarterback.
Yeah, because that makes a number of their, the games that they should have, like, for instance, this weekend.
Yeah, goes from
like,
win to
should
be win, but I wouldn't stun if they lost, type of thing.
No, and they got no, like,
they can't lose 2 games.
They can't.
They have
got no
window.
margin to lose a second.
They're going to lose to the Buckeyes probably, so they have no. I would more likely bet than no.
Yeah.
If you give me a good price on them.
Because at Michigan State's not a layup anymore. This weekend's
No.
not a layup anymore. Even, I mean, Michigan sucks, but if you're not going to have Rourke, not a layup. So, yeah, I agree.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that is messed up. That thumb. Because you didn't, like, it hit the helmet. You didn't even see the thumb. So to me, that thumb was bent. So, I mean, oof. Austin M. I got a Michigan State plus 28.5 ticket and Oklahoma plus 6.5 this weekend from the offseason. Anyone want my Oklahoma ticket? I'll take the Michigan State ticket. If
I was gonna say. I think worst case, you 1-1 there.
Yeah. Where did you see 28.5? I think I saw 24.5 somewhere. I didn't get it. Someone got it ahead of me. I was in line. I think it's Circa on that one. And they opened their numbers far different. That's Michigan State's live this week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I got a question for you. You'd switch coaches with Michigan State, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, in a second.
Yeah.
Smith. I mean, we've always been a Jonathan Smith truthers on this show. And this is not a great Michigan State. Like, the collection of talent he's got this year is not great. And
we're going to lose the win total. I thought we had a great bet under 5.5.
I know.
We're going to lose.
You want to lock in Sparty? I don't think it's going back up.
No, what's it at? We got 6?
I think it's 5.5.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think it should be like 3.
Yeah. I can't get my power rating there, but yeah.
I know it's one of the, but
it's one of them. You throw it out the window.
Yeah, I agree.
They could be fundamentally different. Off a bye first season, you saw what they did against Iowa. And it's a team that, had they just cleaned up turnovers early start of the season, they probably have another win or two. So, or at least a lot better scoreboards than what they had. So,
I think, no joke, I think they're going back to Warren this week, Michigan.
What is it?
I don't know how you play Tuttle again after that.
But you got any money? Does Brady have any eligibility left? I'd rather have him at 45 out of the booth. Right?
I would take no joke. I mean, that's not even a question. Would I take Brady with literally
they
not
can't
having
get the other kid to play, the freshman?
At this point, why not?
It doesn't have to play all 4 or 5 games.
Right,
I mean, you're allowed to play some games without burning a red shirt.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I know. I would at this point see what he's got.
Oh,
Super chat
Benjamin
from my man
Rash.
Benny Rash.
Yeah, super chat here. Gents always love the conversation. Are we buying UConn under a touchdown, or is this too
You're
square?
asking the godfather of UConn football.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I left that when they the Temple game destroyed. We cut ties after that. Made me look like an idiot because I gave him out on a podcast. It was not good. I bet Rice. Can you believe that? I bet Rice.
No, you don't gotta. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna.
You going head to head?
No.
No, Rice
I'm back
was
on
even better than the scoreboard. Rice outplayed Tulane last week.
I'm
I bet Rice.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Benjamin. We appreciate the super chat, particularly Zach. He's gonna go get go to the dollar menu there at Mickey D's. Maybe say hi to President Trump there in the drive-through. I lean Rice. I'm not doing any. Are you doing anything at 6.5? I still lean that way, but I got a better number than that on Rice.
I'd still lean that way as well. Especially, I mean, if you could do like a 7-120 somewhere, then
I'm just saying if it's Friday show and it's 7, I think we're gonna have a best bet on Rice. So that's how much I like Rice. I think they're live in that game. Alex Moretto, what's in the pink bottle? Is Knish drinking Pepto?
Oh no, it's probiotic strawberry lemonade caramel water. So and go Wings, baby. I know on Edgework it's a Wings Fade podcast, and they're live. Stanley Cup champs coming through. Let's go Red Wings.
Zach, it's okay. There's no 7. I was just mentioning if there's a 7 on Friday's show that will be on Rice. Yeah, there aren't any 7s right now. Sorry about that. I'm glad Moretto's watching. A lot of people watching. All 62 according to Tent back in the day. Michael in the chat, SMU -11 this week. Duke a little bit overrated, selling them after the game against Florida State. I agree. Let's see where that one's at on Friday. It's in the mix. I bet SMU.
Yeah, I would say I lean that way for sure.
Let's see where we're at on Friday. Sometimes it's okay to have patience
because I don't know if anybody's gonna. Where you at on Wake Stanford?
Stanford's banged up.
I know.
I can't lay on the road though. I mean, you're going to Connecticut. You're going back home. Going out.
I know. Points. It's not a great travel spot.
You like it? You like Wake 2.5? I see there's buyback at 3. I was gonna play Stanford at 3.5. I could tell you. I was like, is this gonna get out to 3.5? I was gonna play Stanford.
Daniels got banged up again in that.
Yeah, he did. So what do we do? Do you want to go? Wait till Friday. Let me collect some. Let me watch the game. Let me watch.
I don't like. I think the Wake offense has kind of found it a bit. Like Bachmeier's been putting it up.
Okay.
And I don't know, without Daniels.
Well, you want it? You want to lay it at 2.5? I'm not against it.
I just don't think. Well, like this Stanford team without him at quarterback is
all right. Best bet Wake -2.5.
All right.
Guy S in the chat. Hey guys, happy Monday. I'm looking at Ball State and IU over. Thoughts? I bet it, but it's not one of my favorite ones.
I was going to say it's like a dead nuts over team versus a dead nuts under team.
Yeah, I need the quarterback situation to clear up later in the week for Northern Illinois.
Was just going to say, if Hampton's back, it's a go. If he's not, I'm probably out on it.
Couldn't say it better. That's the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Knish. Peyton in the chat, any thoughts on ODU -2 this week? I lean that way.
Yeah, same here.
Guy asked BG Toledo over, UConn -6.5. I didn't play the total on BG Toledo. I'd probably lean under. Connecticut, where we like Rice. Yeah. Boy, a lot of people like Connecticut. That's a popular public.
I know.
We are definitely waiting on Rice. That tells me who gets in the playoff: 11-1 Indiana or 11-1 Notre Dame. Notre Dame. It's a TV show.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the choice, it's Notre Dame. I mean, is this basketball or football? Football.
Yeah. Yeah. There's.
Yeah, I just But the answer is, you know what? The real answer, both at 11-1, right?
I think
I
so.
mean, yeah.
But if they're only bumping one, I know who they're not.
Yeah.
They're not bumping.
Yeah, come on. It is. You got to keep that in mind too. I think we're laughing, but it is a TV show. Just is. Is Heisman really a 3-player race like the market suggests? As of right now, I agree with it being a 3-player race. That being
Yeah.
Genty, Cam Ward, Gabriel.
I think something drastic would have to happen towards, I think, like, I will say, there's not a lot of margin for those. Like, Genty has a bad game, they lose. Ward has a bad game, they lose.
Yep.
Then they're totally out.
But who would you have? Klubnik, maybe? No, who's there? See, the thing is, I mean, we're such an instant gratification society. It might be someone we're not even thinking of right now.
No,
has
for sure.
a monster November.
Yep. I agree with you that it's, you know what, like, if you, as you're saying, with 4 or 5 weeks left to go, it can change. Back in the day, it was not. We're going to age ourselves here. It was not like this, but somebody gets hot for that last 3-4 weeks. I agree with you.
Not saying they'll win it, but they'll be sitting there in New York. But right now, one of those three is going to win the Heisman at what we know now. I would say, I know Tent doesn't want to hear this, but if Genty comes close to the Sanders record and Boise State wins out, he's going to win the Heisman. I'm sorry.
I honestly,
both of those have to happen. They got to win out, and he's got to come close or break
public narrative. I don't think people like Cam Ward in Miami. Like, I don't feel like they want, where like Genty is this story that people want to vote for, and Cam Ward is not.
I agree. They just don't like I don't either sometimes, just the way.
Yeah, I know. And
you know me, I'll be celebrating that first. I did when, who was it? Cal or somebody hit him on the sidelines. I don't know. Call me an asshole, but I was cheering. I don't know. I just don't like that walking around. And it's just, to me, it's just, it's not the game. Run. Connor in the chat, will we see a 14 for Navy? That number is an auto bet. Yeah, that's what people think. We'll see. I don't know. I think there's going to be some back and forth in the market on this one. We've already seen it. Got down as 11.5. What are we sitting now? Back to 13?
Yeah.
So
I don't think
numbers play again. And the discrepancy is what Knish says. Do you want to lay points in what will be probably a low possession game? Turnovers variance with Navy, they're really good at, and I'm telling you, Notre Dame protects the football, it's over. If Notre Dame turns it over, then Navy's live, not only against the spread, but obviously to win the game outright. And it's also how you evaluate Navy's schedule. So there's just going to be a variety of opinions there. So I hear you. I'd wait around and see what you get. But as far as this show, we're grading it at 12.5, right? 13? Yeah. What are we grading it at? 12.5?
Whatever,
13?
Yeah, FanDuel number was.
All right. Howdy. Will we see what we got? There we go. I'm pretty comfortable. Howdy. Will we see EMU under a field goal at Akron? I like Akron.
Oh, God, that's, in the dredges of the MAC there. EMU again last week wins a game they have no business winning for like the 30th time in the last 8 seasons. I would lean that Akron way too.
3.5.
I'm in.
Best
I'm
bet.
in the 3.5.
There we go. Best bet Akron plus 3.5. Yes, sir. Boom.
Yep.
Give me some action.
Some action at 3.5, and then
you better grab that phone.
I was gonna say I gotta grab that. I was just looking at the board. I gotta grab that 3.5.
Yeah, you got to. That's why I said 3.5. I'm looking at books. That's I can't wait to move back home. Is FanDuel. I'm speaking from ignorance, so don't get on me too much. We do not have FanDuel in Nevada. Are they like this, where everything's shaded a half point?
I think that's part of the strategy there is to. I guess. I mean, I'm not in the trading room, but to shade things a half point off of market to then garner some more action. I think. I think.
Okay. I've just noticed it since they became a sponsor on the show, and every time they pull up a game, it's always shaded a half point.
Yeah.
A lot of times on the right side where I'm like, not getting a good price
no.
there. But all right, interesting. If somebody's watching from FanDuel, reach out to us. I'd like to know if you guys do, if that's on purpose. Austin M in the chat. Are we on Temple? Yep, we answered that one. Best bet.
Yeah.
Step on a duck. Took a position out on Virginia -4.5. Would love your thoughts, guys. I think that's the right side. How could you bet North Carolina right now?
Yeah.
Not one of my favorite plays. Not a bet that I made, but I would lean that
No.
way. Where are you at? You like
I
North
think
Carolina?
I'm pretty neutral on that. I just yeah, I don't want to back North Carolina, but I really would have needed a little shorter price there to want to get involved. I don't Virginia. They've had some I mean, they've been sticking. It's also been a pretty like BC, Louisville, Clemson back to back to back. Now you get North Carolina. I think North Carolina's off a bye right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, Duck, to be honest with you, if things were
North Carolina. All right. Well, let's see where we're at the end of the week.
I would be I'd like I mean
I got to read up on North Carolina.
North Carolina. If this was earlier in the season, I'd be like, boom, +5, no doubt. So
what's the sentiment around them? I mean, the 4 losses in a row, the way they lost their last game, giving up a 75-yard touchdown run with 15 seconds left because the game's heading to overtime. I don't know. Are they going to show quit or not? I don't know. People are talking about FanDuel. Brink's picks. Yes, FanDuel shades often. Always shaded Rocco. They don't copy lines. They want to take more action from Garrett. FanDuel doesn't deal whole numbers generally, Connor. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm all right. One more. This will be the last one. The Crib 305. Hi, guys. Great show. Thoughts on these 3 picks? +25 Illinois, Virginia Tech -10.5, Tulane and North Texas over. Of the 3, I'll take Illinois +25. Where's that at?
Yeah, I was gonna say that seemed to that was it's like 21 and a hook.
Is that what he meant to type?
He might have.
If it's 25, Illinois, you got 3.5 points, buddy. Yeah, Illinois out of that. Virginia Tech, I mean, it looks like obviously Georgia Tech's quarterback's out. Haynes King again. I'm not laying 10.5 though.
No, I'm not laying 10.5
on and scratching against Notre Dame. Georgia Tech's well coached and in the weeds, recruiting very well too. They're in the top 20.
And I don't think it was funny because the way that game played out, especially first half, I didn't think Pyron was that bad.
No, he wasn't.
Second half, give it to credit to Notre Dame. They made some adjustments. It felt like Georgia Tech just they had a great script first half. It kind of ran dry in the second half.
I think there was very limited possessions in that first half. I think each team only had 4, so they were playing at like a service academy pace, maybe under in that game. I have to look. Ryan Nelson, Joey K. Brad. You guys talked about Vandy Texas game. Where are you leaning? I laid 17 with Texas.
I mean, normally
I still would lean that way. Or
this
no?
Would be this would be your typical Vandy spot for this year's team. Would be get a big number, slow pace, all that stuff. I don't know if you're paying a premium now on Vandy.
Yeah, I mean they're getting who's better, Texas or Alabama? Texas,
right?
And yet 2 weeks ago, Alabama was laying 24, right?
Yeah. And I think you saw a little bit of the we'll call it the limitations sometimes on Vandy against Ball State there. So I think their defense is real, like against a real offense like Texas. I think their defense is primed to get shredded.
Yeah. And I know Texas defense wasn't great last week, but Texas defense is better than Alabama's in my opinion. All right, I got nothing else, man.
I got a question.
Oh,
we heard about it in the chat a lot last week. Every time the game was brought up, do we have an update from the Blue Horseshoe on the Oklahoma State BYU game? I'm pretty sure he was touting his own picks here in the chat, and we got the best of it with Oklahoma State +10.
You know how the game went is you don't see a horseshoe in the chat today. That's all. That is really, how you don't even got to follow his picks to know how the horseshoe's rolling. Because when it's hot, he's everywhere. The mouth of the West Coast. When it's cold, he's a ghost. You don't see him in the chat. He's not tweeting. So yeah, been a tough stretch for the horseshoe last 4 to 6 weeks. Real tough.
I think he's won overall, but he's just had. I mean, why he does some big money lines makes no sense to me. Just bet him, fine. Give him out to the world. No. What's the upside? There is none. There just isn't. But yeah, I guess he's not in today. I'll have to do a wellness check on him.
Yeah,
I think he did. I'm trying to think. I think he did okay though this week. I'll have to look. Outside of that Friday night game, he told me how bad my play was. Remember, he did have the total in the Memphis North Texas game. He did well with that one.
Okay.
Derek says, "Do you not like Steve? He's a huge fan of Brad's. That's how I found this channel. We're having fun. I mean, you guys got to know. I mean, we're having fun. Yes, I do like Fez, but he has his faults like we all do. So, and I'm not afraid it's like a wrestling rivalry. So,
yeah,
that's
a good way to
put
put
it. Everyone asks me, it's a wrestling rivalry. So we go after it. It's good for content. I got nothing else, man. I hope your Wolverines get somewhat better. But at least your Lions, I hope your Lions win it all. I love that. I love the locker room there. I love Dan Campbell. I'm rooting for him, to be honest with you. In fact, so much I was like, man, I got to get a Lions hat.
I was gonna say you need a Honolulu blue.
I'm gonna get a Lions hat. I really like what's going on there. But I got nothing else, man. You got any closing thoughts?
No, good.
Let's recap the best bets. I always forget to do that.
Good call.
Temple +7, love it. They're live. Akron +3.5, love the number. I think they're also live. Wake Forest playing the number there. I think Stanford might be dead. My win total is dead on them. Son of a bitch. Yeah. Michigan State +5.5 live. A&M, good number, -2.5. Anytime we fade Brian Kelly, I'm happy. Kansas +10, it's good. And then we did game of the year line. LSU +4.5 is going to be really good, I think. They will not be getting more than 3 unless Nussmeier gets hurt. I got nothing else.
Okay. Way to kick it off. That's how we do it on a Monday, baby.
That's a lot of best bets. I think that was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Let's get after it. You guys have a great week. Enjoy the Conference USA action, all the midweek action there. We'll talk to you guys on Friday at 5 o'clock. For the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire, Zach Phillips. I'm merely Brad Powers. Thank you to all the comments, questions, concerns. You just watched Hit the Books, part of the Hammer Betting Network, sponsored by FanDuel. See you Friday.